Okay, it is 11 o'clock, and in order to be respectful of your time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Normally, our supervisor, Emily Horn, we have a lot of Emilys here, would be kicking off the Tech Bite, but she has a conflicting meeting today. So I'm just going to introduce myself. If you don't know me, I am Emily Heller, the ITC at James Monroe. And our ITC team is here. Laura Powell in the pink blazer is at Walker Grant Middle School this year. Bert Jacoby in the blue trek suit is at Hugh Mercer this year. I don't know what to call that. And our fourth ITC, Hadley Christie, will be jumping on a few minutes late from another meeting, and she is at Lafayette this year. And we are so excited to support you with all of your instructional technology needs. If you were not able to make it to any of this week's Tech Bites, we are recording them and we will be sharing them out by the end of the week for you. And today's topic is on Canvas and specifically on the new Canvas templates that we are rolling out this year. So if you are returning to FCPS and you have been in the division for the last couple of years and you've used Canvas, we have not used templates in the past. We have had some templates that were able to be downloaded from the Commons, but we haven't pushed out any formal templates, and that is changing this year. If you are new to FCPS, then this will be all new with everything else. So what I want to talk about is the why behind Canvas templates and also a little bit about how we use Canvas in the division. So I'm going to share my screen in just a second. And for those of you that just jumped on, I dropped a file in the chat, and Bert, if you could possibly drop that second working file again after you put in attendance for me, that would be great. We're going to have a form for you to fill out for attendance and a file that you can pull up to look at along with me. But I'm going to share my screen anyway. Okay, so can you see my Canvas file here now? Good. So you have access to this document, and I will email it out as well. But Canvas is the learning management system we use in Fredericksburg. It is free to all teachers. Every single teacher can use it. However, we do kind of use it a little bit differently at our elementary versus our secondary level. And how you choose to use it is a choice, which I think is a great thing about Fredericksburg. You have a lot of autonomy here. So very briefly, at the elementary level, a very basic use of Canvas is just kind of as an informational site, almost like formerly a teacher web page. So this template will be there for you, and all you will need to do is just add a welcome message, maybe a picture of yourself, and if you want to make it fancier, it is up to you. So advanced users at the elementary level may go beyond the information only source, and they may use Canvas to enhance their teaching and learning. And if that is something you're interested in doing, it is there for you, and there are amazing things you can do with it. And you can reach out to your ITCs to help you with that. We also have a lot of trainings available. Canvas is a great way to take your teaching and learning to the next level. At the secondary level, the usage of Canvas is a little bit more. Every teacher should have a Canvas course for every course taught. At the most basic level, Canvas courses at both the middle school and high school should support instruction with a nice homepage, and you have a template to start from that's already made for you. You should have some sort of regularly updated agenda so that parents and students can see what's going on in your classroom with due dates. You should be using your modules. How you use them is up to you. You can use them one module per quarter. You can use a module every week, every unit, every topic, every theme. Talk to one of us if you need help with your design. And your modules might only contain some resources, some documents, some links, and an occasional assignment. If you're a more advanced secondary user, you can choose to use Canvas much more and go deeper with your teaching and learning. And you can support really truly balanced and blended instruction by incorporating lessons, student engagement, activities, assignments, and integrating lots of other tech tools. So if this sounds like a platform that you want to really take full advantage of, there's a lot that you can do. But today's purpose is really to just familiarize you with the templates. So I'm going to kind of bounce in between this Word document that you have a copy of and our Canvas dashboard. So in summary, the templates are created and they're basically the same shell across the division. Each school's template has its own school colors, but we did this for several reasons. One, to keep everything consistent and clear for you, as some of you who are new teachers or who haven't used Canvas before, to give you a starting point instead of a blank course. And two, to keep things consistent and clear for our students and parents, because Canvas is a great communication tool. When PowerSchool, which is our student information system, syncs and pushes all of the courses over to Canvas, they will show up with these templates already in place. And that is new this year. So it should be a very great thing to help us get started. The nice thing is, for those of you who are not new to the division and who are not new to Canvas, you still have the ability to completely customize and edit the template, and you can still pull in all of your great resources that you've created, designed, and curated in the past. So you have full autonomy. But please remember, we want to keep things consistent across the division for our students and parents. So we hope that you will choose to keep the basic components of the homepage looking and feeling the same, so that we have that consistency across the division. One other thing I want to mention is that all of you new teachers eventually will be enrolled or have access to join a technology basics course that we put out in Canvas for teachers. And all of the information that I'm talking about today can also be accessed through that Canvas course. In this document that has been linked for you, you have an enroll link that will allow you to join the course if you aren't already in it. For returning teachers, this is just this year's updated version of the Canvas course we've been using for several years. Okay, on the second page of this document, you'll see kind of a sneak preview of what the template looks like on the home page. Very clean, very simple, nothing too fancy. And the document walks through the components that are included in the template. I'm not going to read that all to you, as well as some recommendations for you, sort of how to use a template, and some do's and don'ts when you start modifying your course. So that's what the rest of this document looks like. And I'm going to get this out of the way. And so now hopefully you are seeing my Canvas dashboard. Is that showing for you guys? Good. So you can see here that I have the templates on my dashboard. When your PowerSchool courses push over for this year, you will see these initial logos, depending on which building you're in, for each of your courses. And instead of saying course template, it will have the name of your course. So I'm going to take a look at Lafayette, since it's right here on the top. And what I want to do is take you in as a student so that you can see what this looks like for your students, because I think that's a powerful tool. A couple of things that you'll notice, give me 1 second to move this out of the way for myself. A couple of things that you're going to notice are that on the left side, the navigation links available to your students are already simplified. We've already turned off all of the links that your students do not need. You do not have to change those settings. They are done for you with this new template. We recommend that you keep these 4. If you think you need some additional links, reach out to your ITC. We don't want to clutter up those links for students and parents, but something that you're doing instructionally may justify adding another link. You will also see that at the top of the homepage, there is a section called Recent Announcements. We have preset the template so that your students will see the one most recent announcement at the top of the homepage. This is also a setting that you can change. You can have it so that they can see more than one of the most recent settings. We think it's a good idea to always have at least one announcement there. Using the announcements in Canvas is a powerful tool, and you can talk to us about ways that can be used instructionally as well. Remember that parents and students have the option to see this announcement both on the homepage, and with their accounts, they usually receive an email notification every time an announcement is sent out. So it's a great way to communicate. Looking at the homepage, you'll see that there is a basic layout, and it's consistent for all of the buildings. So you have a school banner, very simple with the school colors. And then you'll see place your course title here. When you aren't viewing it as a student, when you're in the teacher view, you can just click and type into this black banner and put the name of your course. Then you'll see welcome, and there's some space here for you to customize. And then you'll see another black banner that says quick access links. Below that, you'll see 5 link buttons that have already been created for you, and they're already hyperlinked to the pages that have been set up. This is important for you to understand. You can change all of these. Elementary teachers, you might not need a syllabus. You might not need an agenda, or maybe you're not even using your learning modules right away. You can take these buttons out, but we've started everyone with the same basic starting point to keep things simple. And I'll come back and talk about each of these in a minute, but I want to continue showing you from the student perspective. Okay, so that's what the homepage will look like before you modify it. As a student, students will have access to announcements here, which means that they can go back and see any announcements you've posted during the lifetime of the course. They can also click on modules. At the secondary level, you want to keep this there for them because you will be using modules. At the elementary level, you can decide whether that is something you want to keep or not. What you'll notice as a teacher, and I am going to leave the student view for just a second, is you're going to want to not publish this module. So I'm going to go ahead and unpublish this. And you're going to see that there's some information for you as a teacher that explains some things about this template. And there are some great resources here for you. If you don't need this module after you've read it, you can move it down to the bottom by dragging it, or you can delete it. We recommend that you leave it there as a resource, but just keep it unpublished so that your students don't see it. This has some instructions for how to customize, some information about images, and it also has some really great basic information for teachers about Canvas, getting started, tips, and where to get additional support. Okay, back to the student view. When I go to modules, notice that I unpublished that, so now as a student it doesn't show. Right now, there are two modules here. There are Canvas Overview and Resources, which is a module we put in place for you to make available to your students. You can certainly leave that there and just have it at the top or the bottom. It's similar to what is there for teachers, but it's geared towards students. So you can just have this as a resource for your kids, getting started, helpful tips, and additional support on Canvas. There's also a welcome module. This is just created as a starting point for you. You can change all of it. You can change the title of this module. You can change all of the pages. You can get rid of the ones you don't like. This was just here to give you something to start with. Use what you like. Don't use what you don't like. So when you click into this module, you'll see a generic beginning of a syllabus. You do not have to use this. You can upload your own course syllabus. If you are a secondary teacher, you can use this one if you like it. The next page is an About Your Teacher page. If you love this, edit it, use it like it is. You can put in a picture, a biography, and your contact information. You can change this entire page if you want to. There is a class resources page. Again, use this if you like it. We gave you a template to work from. You can add links, other resources. You can change the entire page. There's also a sample agenda. Again, this is just an idea. Notice that at the top, there are some notes for teachers that you would want to delete before you publish this. This is an example agenda by week in which you would put the dates, maybe some assignments that are due each day, maybe a quick agenda of what's happening each day, and maybe even some upcoming due dates. Another idea below this is to hyperlink to documents from recent or past agendas. If you're using documents, you could just get rid of this top table and keep the bottom table and hyperlink to your documents. Or you can just repeat this table and have it scroll down through the page and just keep your most recent agenda at the top. Whatever works for you to keep information organized for your students. At the secondary level, you'll want to use something here. So think about what works best for you and your students and reach out to us for help. There's also a discussion board put into this first module called the class Q&A. You do not need to keep this, but it is a nice idea to have a place for your students to ask questions, and you will see a notification anytime a student puts a question here. You can customize this so that students can or cannot respond to each other, and it could be a place for classroom dialogue. You can get rid of it altogether. You can change the name of it. These are just ideas for you. Going back to the home page, these 5 buttons you will now see correlate to some of the pages I just showed you in that welcome module. So if you click on the teacher button, it will take you as a student to the About the Teacher page. Likewise, if you click on the syllabus button, it will take you to the syllabus page. Same with the agenda, same with the resources. The modules will just take you to the same place as clicking modules here. Right now, these links are set up in the template. If you modify your template, make sure you update the links accordingly. And you can work with your ITC to help with that. You can also get rid of buttons that you don't want to use. Okay. So that's kind of the basic overview of the home page. One other thing I want to show you is if you leave the student view, as a teacher, if this is my course, notice I'm in the teacher view now and I can see all of the available links and a lot more. If I go into edit, I'm in my home page. Like I was telling you before, now if you're new to Canvas, a lot of this is going to look new, so don't get overwhelmed. You will have access to the training soon, and we are all here to help you. But this content editor box is very small. I like this little expand button here because it makes it full screen, and I'm still editing. So as I mentioned before, you can change your English 5 or whatever, or Mrs. Heller's. You can change your course name to whatever you want it to be. And then you can edit the welcome section. What we'd really like to recommend is that you keep the school banner and you keep the 2 black bars, and that you customize in between the black bars. Please add a video introducing yourself, add a paragraph talking about yourself, add some important information or contact information. It's okay to even have that information be redundant on this welcome page and on the teacher info page. Maybe this is where you want to have your agenda and you want to update it weekly. That's fine. You could have your agenda here and get rid of this agenda button. I can delete any of these buttons by highlighting them and selecting delete. You can also add them back in because the files are there for you in the template. So what we recommend on this homepage when you're editing it is that you keep the banner and the 2 black bars, and that you customize everything else the way that you see fit. One other thing, and I'm going to escape out of this and I'm going to hit cancel so that I don't mess up this template, and it's going to go back to the way it was. Another thing you didn't see when I showed you the student view, but that I wanted to highlight in terms of what we've done for the template, is when students go to look at grades, there's a setting that we've preset that turns off the grade totals. So we've checked a box in the settings that says that grade totals are hidden. And this is really important. We're hoping that you will read over this guideline document that I've attached. Canvas is not where students and parents should be looking for overall course grades. Canvas is used sometimes by teachers for individual assignments. And so it is a great space to check for feedback and grades on individual assignments. But we want to make sure that our students and parents know that their overall course grade should be found in PowerSchool. So in order to help with that, we've turned off that overall course grade. We've made that hidden from them. So make sure that you're explaining that to your students as well. Okay, let me make sure I'm hitting everything that I want to. So we've talked about the home page. We've talked about the navigation links that we've turned on for students. We've talked about the announcements, and I've just mentioned the grades. So again, with the home page, we recommend that you keep these banners the same across the division so that parents and students will see the same look and feel. I have multiple students in the division. I've asked for their input and for their friends as well over the past 3 years. And I have across every student I've spoken to, they've all agreed that having consistency would be helpful because it's challenging for both the students and the parents when every course they open looks different and they aren't sure where to find things. So try to keep it as similar as you can, just in terms of the look and feel of the homepage. And for those of you advanced Canvas users, go crazy from there. Edit anything you want, pull in all of your modules and content that you made last year that you worked so hard on. We welcome that. We do want you to look over the recommendations in terms of how you use modules, especially at the secondary level. Consider in advance how you're going to organize those modules. Make sure you use consistent naming. If you go into modules as a student and you see the dates of the weeks on the first module, and then Q2 on the second module, and then the solar system on the third module, that's very confusing. You may be using some modules as extra resources and others as units. This should be clear to both students and parents. Another really good idea for modules is to use the requirements. And this is recommended as well. If you go into the welcome module, for example, and you hit these 3 dots and you hit edit, and you'll learn about this more, you can add requirements for every page. And you'll learn more about this in your Canvas training if you're new to Canvas, but this is a really nice way for you to designate that the students really should view or click through every page. And this turns on an amazing organizational tool for your students, so that in the student view, when I add in that all the pages need to be viewed. So for example, here, I'm going to pick every single page. And I'm just going to say that they need to view all of the pages. If I update this module, and now I go back to the student view, you'll notice something new. I don't know if you can see it very well in your team screen, but you'll see that it says complete all items, and there are these little check boxes here. This is a powerful tool for our students for organization, and it really helps some of our special needs or language learners. So now every time I view a page, I've looked at the syllabus, I hit the next button, I've looked at about the teacher. Let's say I stop here, leave Canvas, and come back. Now notice as a student, I can see which pages I've looked at and which pages I haven't gotten to. If you don't turn on that feature, your students have no idea if they've ever looked at a page before. So talk to your ITC. That's a powerful tool, and it's quick and easy to set up. A couple of other recommendations before I let you go, because we want to make sure we end on time, and I want to give you time to answer questions. One thing to consider is if you have a learning module, and there is an example learning module here. I forgot to show you that. Let me get out of the student view. So we have the teacher module that you won't publish. We have the Canvas module for students, and we have the welcome to class module. We also have a very basic instructional module that you can totally delete if you don't want to use it. We just wanted to have one in there as an example. And it uses the instructional model of engage, explore, expand, evaluate, and extend. And I won't show you all of this now. This is more geared towards new Canvas users, just to give you an idea of some different types of things you can do. But the one thing I want to show is that the module begins with an overview and a to-do list. And this is a really great recommendation for those of you using modules instructionally to start your module with an overview page. This could also be where you put an agenda or some due dates or things like that. So we have put those in there just as an example for you. Okay, I think most of that is covered. Again, there are recommendations outlined in the templates. I hope that if you are a new teacher to our division or new to Canvas, that seeing that you will have a starting point will be helpful for you and make this less overwhelming. I also hope that if you are a returning teacher, that you will feel as though the work you have already done in Canvas is valued, and that you have a very easy way to pull in everything you've already done and still have a consistent look with the rest of the division. So we've just tried to keep this very minimal and give you a nice clean starting point, but still allow you the autonomy and the personalization. So I'm going to stop talking, and we have about 6 minutes left, and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. So fire away. And if maybe you want to raise your hand and then we can unmute you, that would be helpful. Or maybe no questions. Bert, did you have anything? Oh, Mr. Wong.
Yeah, I see that our classes are now loaded in Canvas. Do you know, the students get loaded automatically? I can't remember if we had to do something manually or.
Oh, have they shown up for you?
The courses are, but not the students.
Okay, so you have a course, and did the template show up for you in your course?
Yeah.
Yes, so it did work. Okay, so the way this works is that the students should automatically be preloaded, and the way you can check that as a teacher is you can hit here on the people, and they should be in there as students. What they won't see in their dashboard is they will not see any of your courses until you publish them.
Right.
So
Sorry, on the people, like if I click on people, it just has me in there.
okay, so then they may not have pushed the students over yet.
Okay.
But thank you for asking me that. I will look into it. The way it should work when all of the pieces have been turned on is that you will see the course in its entirety. It will not be published. Once you publish it, your students should see it because they should be eventually populated as students. So if that didn't happen yet, there may just be a delay in the timing, but I'm glad that you brought that up because I will double check on that.
Okay, thank you.
New teachers, I'm encouraged that Mr. Wong is seeing his courses because that gives me hope that maybe new teachers are seeing themselves. Miss Dennison is saying nope. So,
No,
but we will look
it's
into that,
rough.
and we will check to see if new teachers are in the system. We will need to add you in to some trainings and things like that. So, a lot of times this time of year is challenging because things are starting to sink and getting turned back on. So there are always just some little wait times and hiccups, but we will get everybody up and running as soon as we can, and we are looking into that.
Yeah, I see my classes too, and definitely they've not populated the students yet into it.
Okay. So at least there's something happening. That's progress, and you know how it goes. It eventually all lines up, but it's the systems are all working behind the scenes to shake hands with each other. So hopefully we'll get there. Does anyone have questions around the template specifically? And then I'm happy to stay on and continue answering additional questions, but I just want to make sure there aren't any questions around the template. Okay.
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate, so the template, other than the orange banner and the black strip, we have to keep that on there?
We would like for you to keep that on there. We strongly recommend it because it makes everything look consistent for our students and parents.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If you also, I did create these buttons and banners just very basically in Canva, and the educator license I have doesn't allow me to share them as a template. But if you do like the way they look and feel, and you would like to reach out to me to have access to those files to customize and make some additional buttons, then let me know, and I'm happy to work that out with you individually. If you are returning, or even if you are new, if you have started creating content in a sandbox that is not your official course, which is what we recommend that you do your creating and designing in a safe space before you put it where students can have access to it. Just remember that when you are in your course and you are ready to pull things over, you're going to come here to your homepage. You're going to import existing content. You're going to copy a Canvas course. And then what you're going to do is you're going to search for your sandbox by typing its name here. And then you have some options. You can bring every single thing over, or you can just select specific things. For many teachers, you're just going to want to bring over like a completed module at a time. You can you can bring everything in. The current template homepage will still be there. I haven't played with this yet to see what happens. It might actually reset the homepage to be the one you imported, but the template homepage will still exist. We'll just have to reset it as the front page. So as you guys are doing that, because this is the first time we've used the templates, just reach out to me and we'll work through any hiccups together, or with any of the ITCs. Everybody feeling okay about this? Hopefully it's a helper. And elementary teachers, we would love to just see a basic landing page to start with. And then we hope that as you're getting comfortable with your students and all of the moving pieces of our lives at this moment, that you might explore using Canvas with one of your ITCs to add in some other content and to do some blended learning with your students. It can be great station work. There's a lot of things we can do, but we want to just start. We got to crawl before we can walk, and we've got to walk before we can run. So just start with the basics, and we'll help you build and grow when you're ready. Well, if you have any other questions, reach out to any of us. I will email everyone the document that was dropped in the link as well.